Hey there, what's poppin' everybody? My name is Rabbit. My upstairs neighbors are seriously out of their fucking minds. And welcome to episode 96 of our 100% item guide and walkthrough for Legend of Legaia. In our previous episode, we ended by being triggered by the sight of a level 2 Berserker. So, you never know. When you see the palette swap, usually you can expect that you're going to have a bad time, especially when Berserker's involved, but I have a feeling that we'll actually be okay with this encounter. So more specifically, we were making our way through Rogue's Tower so that we can halt the source of this smaller misgenerator in past Conqueror. So let us continue with that task by taking out this Berserker in front of us. So I'm just going to start off by spiriting. You guys should know by now pretty much what Berserker can bring to the table. I don't have really anything too new to offer that wasn't previously stated when we encountered level 1 of him at the Sky Gardens in Jeremy. So really what it all boils down to is just be ready to wallop him down. We're so much stronger, and granted, yes, he is also stronger, but he's not so considerably stronger from his previous form that we're not at least a match for him. Whereas previously, I don't really feel like we were that well matched to be dealing with his bullshit, but we survived, obviously, because we're here, so we can do it again. At least that's the goal. So let's see. We're already getting a lot of damage off on him. I did offer up in our previous episode that I have no fucking clue how much HP this version of Berserker has. I guess I've never looked it up, or I've just looked it up and I block it from my mind because, Berserker, why? I think I'm going to actually heal Vaughn. Maybe I should just heal the whole team. Nah, Vaughn will be okay. I want to get rid of his rot, even though, he could technically still go ahead and go without his right arm, but there's no harm in just taking it off. Everyone else is spiriting, so if we have one person alternating with everyone else, it is not a humongous deal. There isn't a strategy that I would recommend for undertaking this encounter with Berserker. I mean, just wallop him down. You guys know the drill pretty much for some of these fights where it's just do your best to survive. So actually, Vaughn, I will still have you go ahead and get a little bit of damage off, even though it won't be as significant as his peers. But we'll just see what we can do. Oh my god, Noah is just slaying constantly. And Vaughn didn't have quite as much to offer, but as you can see, Berserker's already falling over. So it's pretty much a wrap. I'm calling it now. So maybe there's no need for us to be triggered. We're getting our revenge for the humiliation Green Berserker dished out to us. We are taking out that frustration on Purple Berserker. So he can suck a fat one. He should die. Yep, there we go. That's it. So if you guys were kind of tallying up the damage, you can get a rough idea of what it took to knock him out. You can see our XP and gold are awesome, but most importantly, we did acquire a Miracle Water. So we will cast lots for that as soon as he is out of our hair, which is now. First order of business. I don't remember whose turn it is, but we will just start with Gala. Oh, I probably should be focusing on Von Spoon. I think his is the only one that is still not yet at level 4. So I will do that once the opportunity presents itself yet again, but for now, there it is. Oh, Miracle Water. So excited to see this +4 to all stats become available. And let's check out who the recipient will be. And it looks like the winner is, in fact, good old Vaughn. He's just been rocking and getting practically everything. But I guess it's due. It seems like that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles. So once we've come back here, I want to actually take this one yet again. Yet again, not yet again. And then we want to run and use this one this time. And then there should be one off to the left. Yep, there it is. And yes, you guessed it. We have yet another fight awaiting us. So let's immediately inspect the weird crystal floating thingy-mabobbers here. And it says, grrr. And what do we have this time? Now, this is a face we have not seen in a while, my friends. And you've got it. This is level 2 Kubin. This one looks pretty cute. I mean, I actually thought level 1 Kubin looked fairly nice, but level 2 looks good too. So pretty much the same spiel as with Berserker. I don't fucking remember how much HP this thing has. The bosses here aren't too bad. I've said that like a cajillion times. So hopefully, if you made it through Berserker, you should at least be set up to deal with Kubin. I feel like the monsters here, like I was saying, or at least these bosses, truly do fit the description of mini-boss more. I think it just looks a little bit scarier because they were, in the past, sort of bigger confrontations, and they could have dragged you a little bit if you weren't entirely prepared. I mean, the game, I wouldn't say Legend of Legaia is easy at all. I mean, there are parts in the game where obviously if you over-level or if you purposefully go ahead and access Seru that you're not supposed to naturally encounter, that will set you up to have an easier time in certain sections and areas. But for the most part, this game isn't one that you can just sort of face roll through and not be completely unprepared. Like I already noted in our last episode, while Berserker tends to be my nightmare of a boss in this game, for a lot of people it seems to be Zane. For whatever reason, like I said, he's never caused me too much trouble, but we'll go on that in a second. Noah got a level, woohoo! We didn't get too much in XP or gold, but we did get another miracle water, so after having Vaughn heal us up, you guys already know, I'm gonna cast those lots. So I don't want to forget to heal us up. And will we get a level? No, not at all. Kind of blows, but that's okay. So another +4 to all stats. Who will be the winner? Well, it looks like it is. Oh my gosh, it's Vaughn again. What even, Vaughn, are you doing? Oh, okay, let me not lose my focus here. We want to take this one here since that was what was being blocked. And then we're going to run down here and take this bad boy. And then we want to run... Oh, can we take this one? We're ready to go. Holler. And check it out. Some weird water. It's strange blue water. Do you want to drink it? Yes, we do. What an amazing taste. HP and MP are completely restored. And if you're just curious, if you want to check out the green water, do you want to drink it? Yes, we do. What an amazing taste. HP and MP are completely restored. So I never quite understood why it gave you this weird option to drink 2 different colored waters when they do the same thing, but for whatever reason, it is there. So pick the color you like best and just kind of roll with it. So I'm wanting to wait. Well, I shouldn't have been running as I was starting to say this. I was going to say I wanted to wait and run while the floor was doing the weird Simseru shits. I guess you could say pulsing, because it does change to a certain extent which monsters we are facing in an ordinary battle. So I'll see if I can make it to where our next normal confrontation, not a mini boss one, if I can catch one of those when the floor is doing its shit. Because I realized in our last episode that opportunity didn't just naturally present itself. I guess I was just too focused on what was going on. All right, as usual, I'm spreading the love out a little bit here. Let's see what we can do. Everyone except for Vaughn got their level while we've been here in Rogue's Tower, so we are just a little bit tougher. But the mini-bosses haven't been too responsible for contributing much. I mean, the fights have been so-so. I'd say these bears are giving us more of a run for our money than the Kubin was. He was a bit of a, shall I say, pussy? No? Okay, I'll stop. You guys, come on. You know you love my terrible jokes. Not even a little bit? Well, whatever. What would you do without them, whether you love them or not? Speaking of terrible jokes, so one of the random stories that I had been meaning to tell you guys, and I kind of myself got, I wouldn't say sidetracked, but it wasn't a good opportunity to talk about it. So I wanted to share with you just this funny exchange that I had with one of our clients. So one of the guys that's on our caseload, he has very severe autism, but he is just so funny, very intelligent, has like a bachelor's degree in cellular biology, went and got like an additional certification specifically in biotechnology from a local community college. So he really wants to be involved in like laboratory work and some sort of work as like a research assistant or a lab assistant. I don't know, he just really loves that kind of shit, which I get. You know, I spent a lot of time working as a scientist and as a researcher, primarily through statistics, but I get where he's coming from. There's something cool about that environment, right? But he just gets so discriminated against just because he's not that great at expressing himself, and I'm going to wait until that comes back and then run around so that you guys can see. I mean, clearly, we have only one path to take, so this is a pretty good point for me to blubber on so that I don't get lost. Let's see, can we get into a fight? Let me stop, because knowing me, I'll keep running, and then it'll go normal, and we'll see Spoon and Bear again, or Slippery. But anyway, so he has faced, we're pretty sure, quite a bit of discrimination because he is very qualified on paper for the types of positions he's been seeking, and he even got a few interviews on his own, and like one employer, at least from what he has shared, and you know, maybe he misunderstood, or I don't really know, but in his words, there was discrimination there, and they said they were just afraid that he was going to have a hard time interacting with everyone else there. So they didn't want him, not because he wasn't qualified, but because he was autistic, and I guess they just weren't sure how the other lab rats would deal with that, which I think is a little fucked up. I guess technically and legally they have the right to say, well, even though you can perform the duties, we feel like, oh, as an aside, as you can see, there's Gola Gola version 2 and regular ass Iota. So just wanted to show you that you can see some different Seru depending on if you're fucking around with the pulsing floor or the ordinary stone floor. But I guess legally and technically, these businesses can do whatever the fuck they want, and they can always lie about why they didn't hire you. So even if they are blatantly discriminating, unless like you can prove that they did, you're kind of SOL, you know? So anyway, he ended up on the original caseload for my boss, whom you know, guys, is very sick with cancer and still trying to deal with that. So I have been working with him very loosely, and there was one meeting we had where I was just kind of joking around with him, and because this was the first time he'd really interacted with me, I mean, we had kind of natural chemistry because I was like, you know, I've spent a lot of years in research and lab work, not the technical side like you're wanting to do, so I wasn't working as a biologist, but I know a lot of what that kind of work looks like. So we spent a while talking, and we established fairly good rapport, but he just, oh my gosh. So grr, this other random crystal shit has to say, and oh my god. Really game. Fucking Berserker level 3? I'm telling you guys, the trolling is goddamn real. The game knows Berserker is like the worst boss in the entire fucking game. So yes, you have to fight not one additional version of this asshat, but 2. I know. I have no additional words to offer about it, but so just to wrap up my story. Anyway, we had established pretty good rapport, and I was meeting with him and sort of talking to him about what he's been dealing with and, you know, like what we can do to actually help him in this search for a job that he is qualified for, but that he'd be a good fit for as well. He was just not really, I could tell, digging my lame jokes. So when it came time for us to part ways, you know, I said to him, okay, so we'll just call this quitsies, and then if you want, we can meet at my office in another week, and we can go over a couple of forms and some things that I try to find to see if we can find something legal that we could do, or just figure out what opportunities are available to you. You know, basically, long story short, with that. And he was, you know, very polite and said, okay, that sounds fine. So I kind of winked at him and I said, well, but are you sure you're ready to end with me? You don't want to hear any more of my horrific jokes? To which he fucking responded, you guys. Straight face, full eye contact, like doesn't even blink. All he says to me is, I've heard worse. And then starts packing up, like not disrespectful at all. He was just letting me know he has heard worse jokes than mine, so I shouldn't feel bad about it. I was dying laughing. He is just so funny. But apparently I'm not very funny, although he has heard worse jokes. So I should take solace in knowing that it could always be worse than me, right? Oh my gosh, he is just a fucking hoot and a half. I really enjoy the type of work that sort of comes with this more social work environment versus, you know, like the teaching or doing more of like the statistics and lab research. This has just been a very rewarding career to explore. Although I've got to tell you guys, it has been so hard trying to navigate the workload with our boss being gone. Just, oh, it's so hard not having her there. You don't realize what an outstanding leader you have until that person is no longer really active, and then their stand-in is not a good leader. Not that, you know, there's any disrespect to the girl that's trying to fill in, but she's not really qualified to be making a lot of these executive decisions. But, you know, she doesn't have a fucking choice. Someone has to be the boss. Someone has to be the second in command. And that's the kind of position that a lot of people don't really want. You know, I mean, I've often heard, and you guys can tell me if you think this is true, that the types of people who are super thirsty for power and very much want to be in positions of power are the exact kinds of people who shouldn't get that power. It's usually the people who don't want the power that end up making the best leaders, because they tend to be more humble, or they try to keep the best interests of the whole group or the whole organization in mind, as opposed to themselves or their friends or their family. But this is absolutely a case where, oh my gosh, we could all really benefit. Actually, Vaughn, I'm going to have you heal us because I have not been putting your spoon to work. This is absolutely a case where the stand-in that we have, or the second in command, is just not good at all. And so our workloads have been insane, and I feel like we haven't been able to really properly navigate some things that really need to be examined and thoroughly explored. So I wouldn't say that it's a bad situation right now. I think everyone is just very stressed. You know, we're operating without our leader and, you know, someone who was actively involved in a lot of the work itself. I mean, that's what an utterly amazing, incredible, beautiful soul my boss is. Just, I love her to death, which sounds crazy because I haven't even known her that long. I've been working now for this social work agency. We're going on close to 6 months, and hands down, like, the best supervisor I've ever had. This is one of the best companies I've ever worked for. Holler, Spoon just got a level, so that's fucking awesome too. But this has just been such a rewarding atmosphere that, like I expressed when I gave you guys kind of my more sad announcement, it just fucking breaks my heart that if she dies, it's a strong reality that we'll have to dissolve her company, because there's no one, I think, that wants to really be the next boss, and the current person that's doing it sucks ass. And I'm pretty sure doesn't want to do it forever anyway, because she knows she's not really doing a good job. Or I hope she knows she's not doing a good job. I guess the results show that she's not really doing a good job. But anyway, we took out that asshole Berserker while I shared with you guys what I thought was a funny story about one of my clients telling me that my jokes aren't the worst he's ever fucking heard. But yet again, in addition to the awesome amount of XP and gold that we acquired, we get yet another miracle water. So let us end this episode by casting lots for this. And the recipient this time is going to turn out to be Gala, for a fucking change. I'm sure they were like, Vaughn, if you get one more water, we are taking you out. It is going to be a wrap, because this is starting to look sketchy as fuck. Well, anyway, my friends, thank you very much for watching. When we resume in the upcoming episode, we will continue for yet another episode, making our way through Rogue's Tower. I'm sure you're thinking to yourselves, is this it with the mini bosses? We've had so many, and I won't spoil that for you. You'll just have to wait and see. So thanks again for tuning in. I'm your host, Rabbit, and this is my 100% item guide and walkthrough for Legend of Legaia. I'll see you soon, friends.